My story, I am not such an elegant storyteller. My story is, I don't, I mean, I've journeyed a long way. Um, I used to be a builder in the old country. Somehow I just ended up on this island. My wife and I met my wife after my first wife was killed, and we married, and now we're just trying to survive in this land. We were driven from south, um, and we just we're trying to seek a new way of life up north.
And how do you find the North thus far?
Um, it has its good aspects, and there's some downside.
Certainly the strength of the creatures about, the Denzians of the North that inhabit here are much stronger than those that you find in the South. For the most part, save the green spiders.
I I believe the northern creatures are the strongest in the entire island.
Yes, it
Who is this guy?
is really best if you work together to best them, as you can see when we fight the harpies. Thank you very much for the follow. I really appreciate it. Uh,
Yes, indeed.
Bazooey. Bazooey. Good name. So, Victor, you have had more than one wife. Tell me, how did you know that? How did you know that your wife was the one that you were going to make your home with?
I didn't give him a choice.
You hear that, Anara? Of of all the men of Wolfheim, all you need to do is get a large club, perhaps, and bang one of them over the head.
Yes. Or a hammer.
I told her I built things, and she's like, "Okay, we're getting married."
I said I like nice things, so perfect.
And what is your story, milady? How did you find your way here? Or perhaps, how did you find your way to Victor?
Well, I kind of, have a troubled past. I got myself into a bit of trouble before I came to these lands and met Victor. I was arrested. I was a thief. I'm okay admitting it because, I'm trying not to live that lifestyle anymore.
That is good.
But I came upon Victor, and he's very witty and funny, and it's hard not to like him.
No,
So that was it.
I'm none of those
He's modest.
Then,
I'm sure that,
oh, please.
I don't know. I was just going to say, I'm sure that is another of his qualities that you would find.
Even though he has a checkered past with harpies.
That was my first wife.
And here I was about to say that perhaps you have told us a fib, Iona. Your thieving days are not done. You have stolen this man's heart, I can tell.
Well, I hope. Some days are better than others, I guess.
What do you mean?
I'm sure some days he'd like to leave me outside to the wolves.
Cannot be right. Um,
And he's severely inappropriate.
Uh,
In what way?
So if you're shy, it's probably best not to spend extended amount of time around Victor.
Well, that is good to know. I am very shy.
He does not like to wear clothing.
Oh, it's not shy.
I'm afraid to look behind me.
Yes, modesty. Sorry, I misspoke.
Oh no, I'm sure those who are very shy are also very modest. I think you are correct.
He is not shy about himself. He's very proud.
Well, I'm sure he is not unlike many of the men. Featuring swords and grappled down.
I have become quite comfortable in running up and down the mountain naked. Just seems to be the way of things sometimes.
I'm sure it's a refreshing feeling.
But Jorn, where did you hail from before these lands?
I came here. I came here from further to the north. My village where I grew up, my father, he was a shaman of Ymir. I was very young, but I paid attention to many of the things that he said. The stories that he would tell. Some I did not realize how important they would become to me. I did not, in my youth, I was not as one of as much faith as I am now. But I too was accused of a crime, but my crime was one of passion rather than stealing or thievery. I met a woman from the Southlands, and she was with child. I took care of her for a bit. Her husband had been killed. I grew fond of her, but I cannot say that it is complicated. Nonetheless, I come to find out that she had a very powerful and rich uncle. He was connected with one of the lords, concocted a scheme to imprison me with one of the priests of Set. I do not know if the Set priest whispered things in his ears or not, poisoned him against me. I do not know. I do not care at this moment. But what I do know is that I served in the sands, in the prison, in the heat, the stench of death all about. Sometimes it was difficult to tell who was the living and who were the dead. Even the living just seemed to linger. I think that's all I did. I just lingered. Then one day I decided that I would not take it anymore. I reached with all my might. A great storm rose up within me of anger, and I punched one of my guards. They beat me mercilessly and took me out into the desert sands to leave me to rot, to be carrion to the crows, the vultures.
Oh my.
And I believe that storm, that the winds that blew within me, they left me determined. I had a choice to make, a simple one. Get busy living or get busy dying. So I clawed my way out of the sands. I decided not to give the pricks the satisfaction. I made my way to the oasis in the south. When I was near out of water, broken and sunburned, my skin with welts all over it, bugs and gnats and all kinds of crazy things flying about me. Each step that I took towards the north, I gained more strength, more determination, never to be a slave again. To die standing on my feet, never on my knees, not one more time. I have broken that vow. I shall get on my knees to the Ymir, the god of storm. I believe it is he that gave me the courage and the strength, the determination to choose to be alive and not die there in the desert sands. I was fortunate enough in my journey, when I was fatigued beyond all measure, my body cold, unsure of where to go next. As I climbed up a cliffside, I happened to notice some small outcroppings of, well, intentionally placed stone. It is there that I think I first saw the sun in a new light. Up there I saw Samara for the first time, and her friend, and Lysandra, and we met, I don't know. Together, we made a desperate trek in the dark, wolves nipping at our heels, one torch amongst us that was nearly spent, no more meat, towards a place that we had only hoped to find. Wolfheim. Here we came and made a home. They took us in, fed us, clothed us. And here we are.
What an exciting tale.
Seems so long
That was
ago
quite
now.
a story.
And yet, not ago at all.
No, it was not, was it, Samara? It was not but maybe a month or two, it seems, in the days that pass. Samara is, she has quite the tale as well. She is perhaps one of the most courageous women I have ever met.
I do not think that is true. For there are many courageous women.
But it is true. Of the ones that I have met, you are one of the most courageous. And selfless.